Hello, Friday 411 subscribers. We're going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to introduce you to somebody who has made a big impact on my life. So here's a little background. I am a planning junkie. I love to make plans, I love to write things down, and I'm a junkie who uses both digital tools like Notion, but also analog tools. And over the years, I've tried all of these different analog planners, and I would use them for a month, maybe 2 months, and then I would just realize it's just not what I wanted. And then I discovered this goal crazy planner, and in the midst of discovering this, I got the opportunity to meet the creator of it. And he's here today, and I'm going to get to ask him some questions. We're going to have a conversation. Jason Vandevere. Jason, I'm so glad you're here, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad you found Goal Crazy.
Yeah, me too. It has really been an incredible tool. So tell us a little bit. I believe in this tool. I just absolutely love it. What, from your perspective, what makes Goal Crazy unique?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I can definitely relate with you as just the planner junkie, right? Like trying all these different tools and couldn't find something I liked. But with Goal Crazy, probably the two biggest things that separate it from the other planners is it starts with what I call the life crash course, where you really get clarity on where you're at in your life right now, where you want to be, and you create clear plans to get there. It helps you set goals in all the different areas of your life, not just in your career, but with your family, travel, spirituality, health. And really you can identify the ideal lifestyle you want for yourself, and that's what kicks off the planner. So you have this life crash course at the front where you get clarity on your goals, but then you have your normal planner portion that helps you break it down into plans, but you create a scorecard essentially for yourself that you use to track your habits, but it becomes your scorecard that at the end of every single day you can use it to give yourself a grade and a way to hold yourself accountable to be taking the successful behaviors and action steps you need to create the successes that you want in your life. So those are probably two of the biggest things that separate it from other planners.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, one of the things that I loved about it was that very feature that you're talking about, was in the beginning identifying what are my long-term dreams and aspirations, and which of those am I going to concentrate on in the next quarter or in the next few months. And I don't see that with a lot of planners. Most of them kind of say, oh, your dreams are over here, but it's not actually focused on turning those dreams into reality and doing that in the next quarter or so. And so I love that feature of it.
Yeah.
So I know for you, you interviewed a ton of people. You did a bunch of groups to find what works best and to begin shaping it and forming it. In all of that time, what are some of the biggest struggles you've seen people have with time management? And how do
Mhm.
you think Goal Crazy helps?
Hmm. So I think with time management, I think that lots of times people think that they just need another planner, right? Like I meet so many people who are considered like planner addicts, and they're always kind of looking for the next planner or program or app that's just going to make their life so that everything can fit in their schedule. And I think that one of the reasons people do that is it's probably easier to just go on Amazon and find another tool to buy, right?
Yeah.
Rather than doing the deep work of figuring out what do I really want to do with my life, right? Because
Mm,
once you have clarity on that, and that's kind of the whole focus of the life crash course there, but once you have clarity on that question, then you can say no to everything else. Because
mm,
no matter what, there will always be more tasks than time, right? Like we live in an
yeah.
infinite world where at any given moment, you have an infinite number of things that you can do. So,
Yeah.
really, part of life is figuring out like, what do I actually want to do with my life? And then say no to everything else. So, yeah, I guess to answer your question, they just don't do, maybe it's not they don't have the time to do the deep work, or I think it's more importantly, they don't have the guidance on how to do the deep work to find what the answer to that question is. And really, I hope this tool can help them with that.
Yeah. And man, I love what you're saying there. I have this saying that I refer back to all the time, that you will die with an unfinished to-do list, right?
Mhm.
Like Walt Disney said that he wished he had 15 more years to live so that he could accomplish all of his dreams. And you think about all that he accomplished in
Yeah.
his lifetime.
Hmm.
Like you're going to die with an unfinished to-do list. I'll tell you one other thing that I really love about it, and I think the Goal Crazy Planner does this better than any other planner that I've seen, and that's the breakdown of you. Like I was saying earlier, you start with what do I want to accomplish in my life, and
Mhm.
then what do I want to accomplish this year in these different areas, and then what do I need to accomplish this quarter, and
Mhm.
then that leads to what do I need to accomplish this week and ultimately this day. And I think there's such a great integration of it and of the tool and going back and showing, hey, this is what you want to accomplish. What did you do last week? How are you moving
Mhm.
toward that this week? I love that, and I love that there are these different realms that you look at in life, as you've
Mhm.
mentioned. It's not just a business book or a work planner. It is literally here's how I want to grow in my health. Here's how I want
Mhm.
to grow in my family life and my adventures. Um, love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Because I think, and that even ties back to maybe other mistakes people make with different planning tools is they only set goals for their career. And it's like our career
Yeah.
should be the means, not the end, right? Like our
Mm.
end goal that we're working towards is what is the ideal lifestyle you want for yourself? And that's what I want the planner to help you figure out. Like what's the end lifestyle I want? And then you can use your career to be the means to create it. But if you flip-flop those, then you see some many people where their end goal is their career and they succeed. It completely overtakes their life, right? And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just helping you flip those.
Yeah. Man, I was on a just random story. I was actually on a flight about a year ago, and I was sitting beside this lady, and I'm a pretty talkative person. And I struck up a conversation with her,
Mhm.
and she started telling me about her husband who owned multiple franchises of a well-known burger restaurant. And and she was dressed beautifully. She, huge diamond rings and all of these things. And I was having a conversation with her, and she was telling me about all of the wonderful places that she was getting to travel because of all of her husband's hard work over the years. And then I said to her, well, does he not enjoy traveling? And long story short, he had focused so much on his career alone
Mhm.
that he had basically driven himself into a state where he couldn't enjoy the later years of his life. He was so out of shape. He'd eaten two large hamburgers a day, she said, every day for about 35 years, never taking care of himself. And he always did this so that they could have this wonderful life together. And then they weren't able to have that wonderful life
Right.
together. So, man, I get what you're talking about
Yeah.
is the career is the driver, not
Mhm.
the career is the fuel for the life you want to
Mhm.
live. It's not the end goal of
Yeah.
the life you want to live.
Yeah. That's really
Man.
good. Hmm.
So I'll tell you one of my favorite things. I'm going to hold this up
Hmm.
here for a second, so people can see it. Hopefully, you can see it here. You'll see that the planner is broken into the morning prep, and in the morning prep, you review what's your the one big goal you want to accomplish. What are you grateful for? What are you excited about? What are your affirmations for the day, and then a very limited list of things that you could do, your most important, and then some would like to get tos, and even a list of don't do these things today. And then over on this side, you've got this evening review, and in the evening review, one of my favorite features is the journal part of it. So tell us a little bit, why did you include a journal in this planner?
So I love to journal, but I think that journaling is really just helpful for your mindset. So I know kind of like a trend right now is everybody's conscious of their mindset, right? And it's like our mind is always firing off these thoughts. And typically it's firing off, well, not typically, but it's easy to just let it fire off negative thoughts.
Mm,
And our thoughts, it's kind of like if all I'm putting is negative thoughts in here, if all I'm eating is junk food, like the guy you talked about with the burger, right? Like if all I eat is junk food, then junk food comes out, right? Like, or then
yeah.
I just feel like junk. And it's because our mind has this tendency to want to put junk into our mind. The planner has these journaling prompts that are going to help you intentionally put positive things in here, right? Like some of the prompts you listed off. What am I grateful for? ones that's just reoccurring again and again in there is, what did I accomplish? You reflect on it at the
Hmm.
end of every day. What did I accomplish today? What did I accomplish this week? What did I accomplish this month? And it's because so often we focus on the opposite. What didn't I accomplish? And it
Yeah.
brings us down. So I would say it's to help you stop putting so much junk food up into our
Yeah.
head and filling it with healthy thoughts.
Yeah.
Is the
Yeah.
main one.
It's interesting because this is, for me, this was actually one of the selling points in getting this journal is, uh, in the evening review, you say, what did I accomplish and what were the best moments of today? Well, so in my doctoral research, where I focused on busy leaders and busy lives, one of the things that we discovered is that when leaders take time daily, or at least, close to it, they try to do it daily. If they'll take time to reflect, then it actually makes them more productive. And
Mm,
what we discovered is there's three questions that help
mm.
make them more productive. Okay. and
Yeah.
and this is what I love, you nailed it in here. So the first is, what did I accomplish today? So
Mm,
for the very reason that you said, when we see what we've accomplished, it fuels us for the next day of
mhm,
accomplishment. The second thing is, what am I grateful for? That was the second question. I
mm.
see that in the best moments from today. Like that tends to be
Yeah.
for me where I'm like, oh, these are the things that I'm really, really grateful for. And then the third you included as well is, what do I need to do differently? And so you
Mm,
have this new ideas slash things I learned that you incorporate in there. And so for me, this was one of the reasons I just fell in love with this planner, is because it lines up so well with research on what actually makes us more
mhm.
productive.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
Now,
wonderful.
there's
Yeah.
that's cool. I know. Again, that's why I'm a junkie of it. Okay, so there's one more question I want to ask you, but I'm going to give a little bit of background
Okay.
in this question. So one of the reasons that I've always struggled with weekly planning, I mean, for my whole adult life, as I've tried to do it, I've struggled with weekly planning because um, I can get sucked into an hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours of thinking through, what are the goals that I need to be looking at, and how do I make sure that I maximize every minute of the day? And so often planning for me, specifically weekly
Mm,
planning, can take hours.
mm,
And when I got the Goal Crazy Planner, it invited me to participate in this accountability group. And like, in all honesty, I did it as just no, I'll give this a shot.
mhm,
But what the accountability group did and does is, every week, 30 minutes, you gather anybody who's got the planner and is part of the accountability group, you gather them together, and we go through a weekly review of what we've accomplished, what we didn't accomplish, what we need to accomplish in the next week, and then a preview of what are all the commitments and the meetings that we have, and let's get those things all plugged in. And it has shrunk my weekly planning from a 2 hour process that was really overwhelming to a 30-minute process where at the end of it, I'm raring to go.
mhm.
So I gave a lot about the accountability
Yeah.
group,
Yeah.
but I want to, you tell us a little bit more. How does this accountability group work?
Yeah, well, obviously it helps hold you accountable. It's kind of like there's so many people who have the big goals, the big vision of what they want to create, and they just don't have the accountability or the support to match it. So it's to fill that gap. But it's going to on the planning your week. I think lots of people struggle with that, where they go sit down to plan their week and they see an activity like, oh, I need to do this. I'll just do this right now, right? And they do that real quick and they get distracted. And then it's been 2 hours. They've planned
Yes.
Monday and Tuesday out, but they haven't made it that further. But it's like, okay, whatever, I need to move on. So when this group setting, like I will guide everybody through. I'll put timers up on the screen and I'll say for the next 2 minutes, I need you to identify these type of activities. Now I need you to put them here in your planner. And we go through this process until we leave with our entire week planned out. It's completely
Mhm.
time blocked out. What you're going to do Monday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon. I even help you put some buffer time in there just in case something new comes up or something takes longer than expected. It doesn't ruin and throw off your whole week. But it's when you miss that accountability component, we get distracted. So the main things it focuses on is it helps you clarify what your goals are. You have an intro kickoff coaching call where we clarify your goals. Then we help keep you on track with it with these monthly group calls. And then we help plan your week with you every single week to
Yeah.
make sure you have the time to make it happen. So we just want to do it with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so focused. That's what you mentioned it. I would always get in there and I would I would start working on something, and then I'd get distracted by another
Yeah.
task. And it's so focused that it just like that is 30 of the most focused minutes that I have every single week. And
Mhm.
so as you and I talked, we've got a gift for anybody who's part of this subscriber list and wants to test out
Mhm.
the Goal Crazy Planner. So tell us a little bit about what you're giving away for anybody who takes advantage of this.
Yeah, so we put this together. If you buy the Goal Crazy Planner, I have a special link for you guys for the leadership group here. If you go to goalcrazy.com/Garland, when you get your planner, you'll get a free month of the accountability group. So that way you can try it out. If you like it, you can stay a member. If you learn how to do it and want to do it on your own too in the future, that's great too. But I would love to be able to not only help you get this planner, but I really want to help you implement it into your life so that you can maximize it with what you need.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. And so I'm not making crazy money off of this. Like this is legitimately something where I reached out to Jason and I was like, man, this planner is literally helping me in ways that I've never had before. And this accountability group is helping me. And so we just want to make this available for anybody who is one of our subscribers. Jason, any
Yeah.
last things that you want to say about the planner, about productivity, anything along those lines?
Yeah. Life is just a lot more fun when you're working towards your goals. And if I can help you with that, I would love that opportunity to help you on your journey.
Thanks, man. Hey, thanks for
Yeah.
being
Thank
here.
you.
Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Garland.